and in today's video I will be teaching you about the guard/blocking skills. Now if you don't know what they are, basically they are skills that when you activate them they will give you a buff that will reduce the damage of the next attack that hits you either by percentage or they will negate it entirely. Now ultimately a skill that causes attack interruption such as flinch, tumble, and stun will be more effective than these, but they do have some advantages. One of the advantages is of course that you can use them on a boss regardless of whether or not they're sensitive to something or not, and they do not have a cooldown. So it is pretty important if you are making a build that relies on attack interruption just in case you're fighting a sensitive boss. Another thing to note is that they aren't very effective with full agility characters, or really any other character that has a high dodge rate, because in order to gain the full effects of some of these skills, you do need the attack to actually hit you in order to, heal or get a special buff after you use the skill. So just keep that in mind when you use these types of skills. So of course, as of yet, there are 4 different blocking skills in the game: Perfect Defense, Cross Parry, as well as Magadachi and Zantei Settetsu, and we are going to go over all of these and good ways to use them. So the first skill, or the first blocking skill that we have, is Perfect Defense. Now Perfect Defense, in my opinion, is probably the most overpowered one, and that is because of course it completely negates the damage that comes your way. You can spam this one very easily. You don't have to time it a whole lot, and it heals you for 1% of your HP for every level that it's at. So at level 10 it will heal you for 10% of your HP. In general, even if you're not making a tank-like build or a semi-tank build, if you do have a shield equipped, I would definitely recommend that you consider getting this at some point, because you can use this to completely replace your Evitas if you're skilled enough. So yeah, you should definitely consider getting this if you have a shield equipped. Okay, so as you can see, I can block an attack just by doing that, and it heals me. I can do this for AoEs, and I can even do it from far away. So it doesn't matter what range, you can use this on, long range skills that try to hit you, or short ranged ones. Of course, you do need to time it right, in sync with when your attack actually hits you. And then of course, if you miss, it's just a complete waste. Just uses 100 MP and doesn't do anything. So yeah, pretty nice. Alright, so the next skill we have here is Cross Parry. Cross Parry is only available with dual swords, and it is probably the least overpowered one out of all of these. The main reason being is because it has a little bit of a slow reaction time, so it's kind of difficult to use. But if you do use it properly, it will give you an attack speed bonus for 30 seconds, which can be pretty nice. Now, it does also have a chance to inflict tumble, so of course that means that if you did tumble your target, you wouldn't benefit from the attack speed bonus, and you wouldn't really be able to use it on a tumble sensitive boss. I have noticed that this skill is mostly effective if you have a lot of attack speed, which would give you a lot of motion speed, which would increase its reaction time. But the problem with that is that, of course, in order to get a lot of attack speed, you usually need to have a lot of agility, which of course would give you a high dodge rate, meaning that it would kind of, it just wouldn't really be, in its full effect if you had full agility because of the dodge. So you wouldn't be able to benefit from the attack speed bonus. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to use, but if you know how to use it properly, it can be a pretty nice skill to have. So, if I just do this, as you can see, it attacks him and has a chance to tumble him. It is kind of a low tumble rate, I just kind of got lucky with that first hit. As you can see, if I time right, I get the buff, which is pretty nice. It's a pretty decent boost. It's not a huge boost, but it is enough to make a difference. Of course, you do definitely need to time it right, because if you don't time it right, as you can see, generally what I've noticed is that if you're going to use it properly, you need to use it right as soon as your target uses their attack animation. because if you try to use it before it hits you, then a lot of the times it just doesn't work. Now it worked that time, and it may look like I'm making it look a little bit easy to use this skill, but it's actually pretty difficult to use. But yeah, it's kind of a good skill. You could probably use it as a combo starter. Not quite sure how much I would really recommend that. But yeah, anyways, nice attack speed boost, nice attack boost. Pretty good for, agility builds, pretty good for dexterity builds. Okay, and the next two skills we have here are Magadachi and Zantei Settetsu. Both of these are only available if you have a katana equipped either as a primary weapon or a sub-weapon with a bow. So I guess it could be kind of useful if you want to have a semi-defensive sniper. But of course the damage that they both deal will be greatly reduced. Now Magadachi, essentially, if you get hit when you use this one, the damage of the next physical attack that hits you will be reduced by 90%, whereas the next magic attack's damage will be only reduced by 45%. And then of course, if you do actually get hit, then you will restore 200 MP, whereas the skill only costs 300 MP, so it's pretty much like only using a 100 MP skill. But however, if you don't actually end up blocking any damage, you will instead hit your target with a semi-powerful attack. Now, of course, this is a little bit of a risky skill to use, because if you're successful with it, then it will reduce the damage that you take, which is pretty nice. But if you fail at using it, you would have just used 300 MP to use an attack that doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a gamble, but it still can be pretty nice if you're fighting something that has a very strong attack and you want to reduce the damage that it deals when it does actually hit you. Then of course Zantei Settetsu costs 400 MP, and unlike Magadachi, it completely negates the damage that comes your way. Now of course another thing about this one is that when you use it, you will attack 4 times with 3, I just said you attack 4 times with 3 low-powered attacks. No, that doesn't make any sense. But no, when you use it, you will attack 4 times with some low-powered attacks. But if you get hit while you do those attacks, of course the damage will be negated, and you will hit your target with a very, very strong attack. For some people, I've seen it do up to like 600k per hit, which is very overpowered. Plus, it has a chance to cause armor break. So of course, generally, if you do want to use this, you will need to have a lot of MP. I have seen some people just use this skill just by itself, like without being in a combo, and they can kill like very strong bosses within a matter of like only a few minutes. Some of them only a few seconds. So yeah, definitely overpowered. If you're using a katana, it does do a lot of damage, but if you're using a bow plus katana build, it only does about as much damage as snipe. So yeah, use it if you want to. It is very effective. So if I go on ahead and do this, as you can see, the attack gets blocked, and I recover some MP. Whereas that time, I did not successfully block the attack, so I did not recover any MP. You can do it like that. Pretty nice. You can react pretty fast with this. It does have a few downsides, and of course that's like I said earlier, it doesn't work very well on attacks, and of course if you fail to use it properly, it will cost you a lot of MP. And of course the damage that you do with it isn't that high. Of course, if I use Zantei Settetsu, it does enough damage to kill him instantly. Alright, that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Remember to check the description because sometimes I like to leave extra notes down there. Things like specific or technical information about some of the skills or whatever. Maybe even links to things that might help you out a little bit. But anyways, I will see you later.